Okay, we should be live. I have no idea if anybody's in the chat room, so I don't have that set up yet. So if anybody's watching, hi. We'll start in about a couple of minutes. Not. Do, 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 do. Oh, I see FF Skippy. Pop out my chat. I'm gonna pop out my chat.
I wish that would work on my tablet.
The popping out of the chat.
Yeah, it doesn't work on my tablet.
Really? Do, 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 do,
It's
do,
not
do,
working. I'm having problems.
You've been having problems all night. What's going on? Hello.
I went to geocachingpodcast.com/live,
Yeah,
and it's not current.
it's not current.
It's allowing me to view a completed live stream.
I had to refresh the page.
I did that.
I
Let me
promise
try it in a different browser.
you.
Let's try Firefox.
I have to start this show.
You got a minute?
I know. Are you ready?
Nope.
Better get ready. Oh, FS Skippy says had the same thing. Had to come over to the YouTube page.
Weird. We might need to check on that.
I
Oh,
might need to check on that.
yeah, it's working in the Firefox.
It's working in Firefox. What's it not working in Chrome?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not working on Chrome on my tablet either.
I like Firefox better. Okay, it's time to go live here. Oopsie. Even my phone says so. Are you ready, Jess?
Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. Come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name's Scott Burks. We have Short and It's manning the phones, and please welcome my co-host to my virtual left, Jazz427.
Howdy, all. It's debate time.
Yes, it is, Jazz. Tonight's episode is 556, recorded live on March 20th, 2019, and it is the front yard geocache debate tonight. We're going to be talking about front yard geocaches. Phone lines are open. Give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. You have one? If you have a front yard geocache and you are within the sound of my voice, you should be calling this show right now, because I want to hear about your front yard cache. I want to hear your thoughts on it. If you have a thought, if you vehemently disagree with it, I also want to hear your card. Jesse wants to hear your side. So give us a call, 808-468-7924. But before that, Chad, we need to talk about Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
And the list of sponsors that we have. Let's talk Patreon first. Guys, it costs a lot of money to make this show work. We could really use your help. We love our subscribers, all of our subscribers that currently are on there. They got had some fun over the weekend. Friday night, I had the Walt Grogan come over and record a Friday night roundtable, and so they got that Saturday afternoon, and got some good feedback on that. So thank you, Walt, for coming in, and rehashing old stuff that we used to do many, many years ago. So yeah, if you want to be a patron of our show, you could hear that. And you'd hear every month the Friday Night Roundtable. You also get the Out and About series videos. You get extra helpings of podcasts that we do here. A lot of good stuff. So yeah, give us anything you can. Tier start as low as $3. That is patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachely. Cachely is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, offline saving of caches. Cachely has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more information at cachely.com. That's CACHLY.com.
Tonight, we are also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go geocaching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With six issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com. That's ftfgeocacher.com.
And finally, by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Bee Gone soap, itch spray, and 2-scent choices of bug spray. All are great for outdoor enthusiasts like you guys, geocachers. Be prepared for your next outdoor adventure. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. And as a GCPC sponsor, special promotion from now until April 18th. That's a little less than a month from now. Use the code BRINGONSPRING. That's BRINGONSPRING, Bring on Spring, to get 10% off your purchase. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com. And as always, you can find all of links to all of our sponsors in our show notes. Chad, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Yourself?
Not too bad. So we went out this weekend. Jesse, you there, huh?
I am.
Oh, she's there. There she is. So we went out caching this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, I brought my little armor guy with me.
Mm-hmm.
I still have him. And I'm gonna explain why I still have him in a minute. So he went on many adventures, and I took pictures and I sent him to. He's actually on Agency Watch's page today. I just got a thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, his adventures are on Agency Watch. So I went and I got about 45 caches. I shouldn't say I. So did Jesse, and so did Cody Dog. When we went with Cody Dog too, we got about 45 caches. Chad, we found caches like up and down a path, by a river and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not one small cache.
Not one small?
All micros.
All micro. Oh.
All micros.
You love micros in the wood.
Oh. So my point being is that I wanted to drop him off. I wanted to have him to have a full day of adventures and then drop him off. Jesse, meanwhile, hold on. Oh, sorry, I'm on my way. Jesse, meanwhile, has got this that she's had forever. Okay.
I picked that up in Michigan in January.
We wanted to get rid of this too. We wanted to dump this. Guess what? It ain't gonna fit in it.
It's
not gonna fit.
Won't go in a pill bottle.
We'll go in a pill bottle. So we said, hey, we're in the woods. You figure we'll find maybe a small,
hopefully a regular.
Nope.
Nope, not one. Oh, that sucks.
Nope. Yeah, a little frustrating.
You need to come over to the woods by me. I've got some larges out.
A little frustrating.
Or actually, got some regulars out.
Yeah,
I should say.
So yeah, that was a little frustrating. It was fun. It was great to get out. We haven't been out in so long, so it was really nice to get out with all the move and all that. It's really nice. As you can see, look, very little boxes. We have just a couple of things over here left. That's about it. And we got to put things out.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah,
hey,
we got to put things on the walls
back
and
there.
stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting there. We got.
Yeah, that fireplace was hidden behind boxes.
I know.
Time.
Yeah, we actually have a working fireplace. Yeah, maybe I'll light it one day for you guys. You guys can see. We've got some mail here, Chad. I got the
mail.
There it is.
Yay! I got mail.
Yay! We got an email from Dave Wagner, who is a DJW House. from McHenry. I think he's from McHenry, Illinois. He is a I changed this. I don't know where anything is now. There it is. He is a patron of the show, so I got to give him a shout out for that. He says, Chad, though I have been, Jesse, this is for you too. Though I've been caching for 7 years now, I have never had much interest in hosting an event. I have enjoyed attending a few events over the years, but it was, quote, never my thing, and I couldn't say myself hosting an event. It was something way out of my comfort zone. That said, listening to your January episode 545 started me thinking. I could relate to Jesse's introvert comments. Jesse, do you remember those comments you made?
Yep, very, very well.
Are you an introvert?
I am definitely an introvert.
Yes, you are. I will agree with that. And I'm a huge extrovert. Go figure. I don't know how that works out, but it somehow does.
You do all the talking for me.
I do all the talking. The show gave me some great tools, and I like the idea of making an event your own. I just needed a way to create an event that would fit me. Fast forward to this week, I've gotten a few new wired style geocaches in development over the winter months.
His wired caches are fantastic. If anyone's ever in northwest suburbs, look up the wired caches.
Okay.
Okay.
And over the months, that are ready for some hands-on testing. I typically get a few local cachers, Drank, Psycho VW, and a Kite Flyer, to come to my home and try them out. With the inspiration of your podcast and Jesse Brown, I started thinking, why not do a beta testing event? Tossing around the idea, a kite flyer brought up that Geocaching headquarters has a creation celebration event promotion going on right now. A perfect fit. Could the stars be aligned any better? An event that fits me, and HQ is providing special icons for those who attend. Well, it's not really icons, is it? It's a
the souvenirs.
Souvenirs.
I think that's what.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a no-brainer. Thanks for the inspiration, GCPC, Dave Wagner. Good
Awesome.
job, Jesse Brown. I'm saying Jesse Brown could be the the inspiration.
I think we'll have to watch for that event and definitely go see.
I think Brett just popped it into the Wheels 00 just popped it into the chat room where the event is. I can't look right now. And
he sure did.
I turned me up a little. Am I any better? How's that? Any better? Hello? What if I do this? The chat room's complaining I'm too low. Trying to turn me up as much as possible. All right. We also got a voicemail, chat. I don't think this might be our first voicemail. We got a voicemail from X-Punk X, who was the originator of the show, the guy who created the show you're listening to right now. X-Punk X is the grandfather, the great-grandfather? What is the father? What is he? He's the patriarch. He is the original host. He created this show. So we have a voicemail from him. Let's listening to it. Let's listen to it right now. Hold on one second.
Hey guys, this is X-Punk X. Just wanted to chat. I was listening to the last episode and you talked about forgetting to bring your pen. I totally do that all the time. And unfortunately, I always have this ethical dilemma. Do I not sign the log, not claim it as found, or do I just forget it and claim it online? And hopefully no one calls me out on the fact that I didn't actually physically sign the log. And most of the time what I do is I end up just doing that. I just sign it online and hopefully no one finds out that I didn't actually physically sign the log. So if anyone sees that X-Punk X and Jules didn't sign the log, I totally forgot a pen. Thanks, guys. I love the show.
Once again, it's
gotta love that.
That's the originator of our show, ladies and gentlemen, right there. You know, it's funny. Jesse actually put something. I don't know, Jesse. I don't know if you know how to screen share your.
Well, I can't because I'm on the other computer tonight.
Oh, okay.
I can do this though.
You see a picture of. Well, you got to speak though, Jess. So it goes to the main one.
Well, you stop talking then, Mr. Extrovert. There you go. That's what happened to us 3 days after we talked about it on the show.
So we had a show about
things not to do,
not bringing a pen, and Jessie didn't have a pen on her because Cody went to go get another cache that we'd already gotten, and I waited by the car. So Jessie went to go get this cache, and she didn't have a pen. So what'd you do, Jess?
Signed it with a stick and some mud.
Not blood. You actually
not blood, mud. So yes, you can see in the picture. I took a picture of it because I had to laugh. Like we just talked about this.
I know.
So
No.
yep, I put our initials with some mud.
And X-Punk, for the record, though, you should really find some way to log it. Like I say, I used to carry around a lighter, and I would just light the corner of it or something like that. I did that a bunch of times. Even if worse comes to worse, take a picture of it. At least do that, just to say like, so when you get called out, to be like, no, look here's the log right there. It just doesn't have my name on it.
Or get yourself one of the small Fisher space pins.
Yes, the small
that hooks on your keychain, and you're good to go as long as you got your keys with you.
What if you don't have your keys with you, Chad?
Well, so the only time I don't have my keys with me is when I'm traveling, and when I'm traveling, geocaching while traveling, I've got a pin in my pocket 24/7.
Well, that's Jesse. Jesse, why didn't you have a pen on you?
Because I always lose the pens. I don't know.
Why do you always lose the pen?
Short pockets.
Stupid short pockets that girls' jeans have. What's with the stupid pockets, man?
They're ridiculous.
They're like literally, guys. I know you people at work can't see me, but they're like 3 inches long. The pockets, if that, if that. It's ridiculous.
That's like the watch pocket that never gets used in a man's jeans.
The secondary pocket. I love how men's jeans is not. It's 2019. We still have a stopwatch pocket. What the hell? I mean, seriously? I think you can let it go, man. Seriously. Anyway, sorry. Moving along. So I thought that was funny that that X-Punk says this, that, and Jesse literally did it like the other day. She forgot a pen. So tonight's show, guys. Tonight's show is the front yard geocache debate. I touched on this last week, but I can finally get into it more tonight. So Jesse and I, well, let me backtrack even more. When I first started caching, I obviously didn't know Jesse. I owned a home, and I put a cache in my front yard. It was a lamppost cache. No,
not a lamppost.
It was a fence post cache. I was thinking, I have a lamppost in my front yard. That's a pretty nice yard. It was a fence post right on my fence, obviously.
Was it like a chain link post or
the front part of my fence? It was weird. I lived in a I lived in a house that had like 6 different fences because I had a really big backyard, but I didn't own any of the fences. You know what I'm saying? They were all my neighbor fences. So each part of I had like 6 different fences, and they were all different fences. It was ridiculous.
You should have put a multi out to take people around your yard and find caches in all the different styles of fence.
It was ridiculous. I mean, it was like the only fence that was mine, I think, was the chain link fence. And again, all this was here before me. I didn't put it on any of that there. So I had that cache. When I moved out of that house, I obviously archived that. And that cache was called Get Off My Lawn, is what it was called. And when I moved, I archived that. Fast forward another 6 years. Until I rented a house, a freestanding house, not a townhouse. When I had townhouses, I did not put a cache in the yard. Fast forward to 6 years, Jesse and I renting a house in Buffalo Grove. I again put a cache not in the front yard, in the side yard this time, because we lived on not a cul-de-sac. We lived on a corner, and so we had the corner lot, and so we put the cache on the side of the house. We had a nice tall pine tree in the side of the house, so I put a nice micro in there, hanging in the pine tree. And I called it Get Off My Lawn Redux. We had that for a couple of years, and then we bought a house now, so I had to archive that cache. And I now own a home with Jesse. We own a home together. There is 1 tree in our front yard, but that is about it. And it's not actually in our yard, Jesse. It is in the, what do you call it?
It's the parkway.
The parkway, thank you. So we have 1 in our parkway. That's about it. No trees in our yard. We do have a nice porch. It's a great porch where I suggested maybe we could put an ammo can on the porch. I also thought about maybe having a fake rock on the front, near the front of the house. So Jesse is hesitant. Jesse, why don't you explain your hesitancy towards this?
I'm not sure exactly why. It just, and I didn't have a problem with it at the old house for some reason, because I think because it was on the side of the house, even though people still figured out that that's where we lived. But it's just the whole, like, I'm not sure that I want everyone knowing where we live. It's just a privacy thing, I think. I'm not sure.
You know that everyone knew where we lived before, right? That's not like we had one at our house before that. I know what you said, but I just want to make sure you understand, like, before we had that and
Right.
issue with that.
But it wasn't in our front yard. It was on the side and it was on the parkway. No, it wasn't on the parkway.
No, it was on our
It
property.
was in our yard, but it was on the side.
People,
And
yeah, but
so it
people
just seemed a little bit different.
people clearly knew what house we were in. Clearly knew the house,
Sure.
right? Correct? Are you?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm just trying to understand. That's all. I'm really just trying to, guys. Honestly, guys, me and Jesse have never really talked about this until just right now. We've never really discussed it. So I'm just trying to understand what the difference is. And if you could say it, if you don't know, just say I don't know.
I really don't know.
The
I
wha-
mean, I really don't know. It's just maybe because like this house we own and the other house we were just renting there. I knew we weren't going to be there permanently, and I
Mhm.
don't know. It just feels a little different. Like I'm more protective of this house, and I don't want people, coming on our property and.
So I own this house now. Don't be coming on my property. Jesse there with a shotgun.
So anybody who's ever owned one or has one or has seen a really cool one, because we've seen some really cool ones over the years, give us a call, 808-GOT-SWAG, 808-468-7924 while we go on about this. Now, Jesse, we've seen some cool ones. We have.
Absolutely, we definitely have. Okay, hang on. I just want to comment on this. So GSM ×2 says that if I have a concern for my safety, then that's the end of the conversation. It's not so much for my safety; it's more privacy, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay,
And,
so
and that's the main issue that my wife has. So privacy.
but you can, and we will get into this to discuss this. You can set limitations on it as well.
Mhm.
Different kinds of how people are going to do it. Like here, I guess we can get into it here. So if we go like for on the cache page, if we're talking about like when you have the cache page, you write it up. You can say things like, but like literally put your address in the hint. Maybe put a picture of the house. And I know Jesse would be like, what? But the point is that you don't want people mulling around your neighbor's houses if they have a crappy signal or something along that lines. Maybe
Right.
just obviously maybe the address, of the
It-
house.
And I'll admit, I was one house off on
Have
one
you've
of
done
them.
that before? Really? Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that before.
I have too.
Jesse, one thing we could do also, how about this, Jesse? Make it a puzzle, or better yet, make it a multi.
Yep.
I like the fence multi idea.
No. Okay, we don't live in that house though. I don't live in that house anymore. So we could make it a multi, thus less traffic, and make it a premium, and make it a multi. Dude, we'll have like one person here a year, maybe two.
Yeah, that's a multi for sure.
Tops, right.
Or better yet, a where I go. No, people probably do more where I goes than multis.
People do more where I goes and multis, yeah. So you could do it. We could make it a puzzle cache. So then people don't see our house. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the pin right there on our property.
That's
Right.
true.
Let them know where not to go. Tell people where not, like, don't go in the backyard. Don't go into the side of the house. You know what I'm saying? Tell
Right.
people where not to go.
Where they actually have to read the page in order to get to your house. Then they've read the information.
Right. Make sure that they let them know that you give them permission to go onto your property. I know that sounds silly, but some people, remember, me and Jesse have been hesitant to go before. We've been hesitant to do that. Another one, make it a point to explain on the cache page that they will not be greeted by any angry people and they are always welcome to find the cache during the daytime. Also make it clear in big letters that night caching is not allowed, which I think is obviously very important, to make it, but like I would be against that as well. No night caching allowed, like, hey, like let's respect the people who live here and all that. And let's not let people night cache.
And also, you don't want people, calling the cops because someone's out in your front yard with a flashlight.
Yeah, we kind of don't want people, coming and cutting the cops called. That would kind of suck. Tell them to knock on the door and say hello. I did this on my cache that I had when I had to cache in my first house. I did that. I actually called. I actually said, hey, like, knock on the door, man. I work from home. Knock on the door if you're here. Oh my God, I met so many cachers that way.
Awesome.
I met so many cachers by asking people to knock on the door, and they did, and it was great. We got a caller here who has one in their front yard. And Chad, this front yard, sir, is in Australia. Hello, Australia. Hello, fire safe.
Hello there, Scott. How's it going? Hello, Chad.
What up, Scott? How you doing? What is it? Is it tomorrow out there, man?
It's tomorrow already. Yeah, it's what are we now? We're nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Well, it's good to know that the world survives tomorrow. That's good. We make it till tomorrow.
It does, yeah. A little bit cloudy though, but apart from that's not too bad.
So, Scott, may I call you Scott? I've known you for years. I think I can call you Scott.
Yep.
Yep. You have one in your front yard?
I do. I've had one now for probably 2 years.
Well, tell me about it, sir.
Well, it actually came from the US. When I was over there in 2016, I caught up with someone that's got these firehouse caches right around the US, and they said, "Do you want to put one in Australia?" I said, "Yeah, go for it." So they sent one over to me, and it's now on the corner post of my front driveway.
Nice. And so, what is
it's in the shape of a firehouse. It's painted red and it's got lots of fire service type stuff in it for swaps.
And how many cache is it? Is it a regular or is it a multi or a puzzle?
No, it's a regular.
Just a traditional.
And I'm just trying to see how many times it's been hit. It's got 31 favourites so far. And how many fines? Where are we? 71. Oh no, sorry, 60. 60 fines.
In how many
in
years?
That time, so.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I'm not in the city so much. I'm a bit out of the city, so people have actually got to make a bit of an effort to get there.
Okay. And have you had any issues with it? I'm assuming you're a pro. You're pro. Front yard cache. You've had one. Do you find it a pleasant experience? Do people come knocking on your door and say hello?
No, not really. I've been out in the yard sometimes, and they strike up a conversation with them. But generally, most of the time, they do the cache and they move on. So there have been no issues. And it's also pretty handy to throw some TVs in too. And I need to get rid of some because it's not a micro, so I can actually put them in.
Right.
That's a great point. All right. Okay, I might be rethinking this. Like, we need to get rid of those trackables that we have, Scott.
Right. You put them in the cache.
That's it. Yeah.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Build one that's big enough to put them in. That's the go.
Absolutely. There you go. See, there you go. Thank you so much. You're on one from my side. Thank you so much, buddy. Always good to hear from you.
No worries.
You just showed up.
No worries.
You just showed up in my time hop. We saw each other a couple of years ago. Recently, you haven't been back to Chicago in a couple of years now.
No, we'll be back next year. My son's moving to Chicago for 3 years, so we'll be coming back to Chicago fairly regularly to say hello.
Sweet. That's awesome. It's gonna be good to see you again. It's been a while.
We'll go to Portillo's.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it to Portillo's.
Oh,
love it.
You're making me hungry.
Oh yeah, definitely have to go back there for sure.
All right, Scott. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much for calling in from Australia, sir. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
No worries.
Bye.
I'll see you, Chad. See you, Jesse.
See ya.
Bye, Scott. Thanks for calling.
Okay, Chad. We got another one here. We have got Team Dastardly, Bruce Cozens from Carlin, Nevada. How you doing, Bruce? Hello.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Chad. Hey, Jesse.
How you doing?
Howdy.
He is also
good. Yourself?
Good. You are also a patron, are you not, sir?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. That gets the ding then. Okay. So you have a front yard cache as well.
I've had one in the front. The first one we had, it was a prize we won in a meet and greet, and it was a tree root that they had drilled the bottom of it out so you could put like a pill bottle in it. But that one didn't last very long because the neighbor kids found it, and we came home one day and it was laying out in the street. So
darn
we
kids.
archived that one, and then we moved one in the alley, behind the garage, and that was like a micro, and it survived quite well. Really no problems with it. But I've just recently archived that one, and I'm putting out a trackable hotel that will be attached to the garage.
Sweet.
And I'm upcycling an old USA Today paper box.
Oh, and sweet.
So it'll take pretty much anything from a bowling ball down.
Oh yeah. Where'd you get a paper box from?
They've pulled out of this area about 3 or 4 years ago. You can't even get a local paper over here anymore. But they quit servicing the paper boxes for USA Today. I don't even know if they have them in Reno anymore because they've been bought up so many times by different publishers that this one was abandoned at a local drugstore.
Huh.
And the manager had been trying to get rid of it for, like 4 years, and nobody would come get it.
It's like, I'll
And
take
by
it.
the time she said, yeah, go ahead and take it, the door's been gone for I don't know how long. So it had a bunch of garbage just stuffed in there.
Right.
And I made a door for it out of plywood and done some wood burning on it. And I'm just making room by the garage for it and be deployed in the next couple weeks or so.
That's sweet. You should make it
Awesome.
you should make it a little library, a free little library.
Well, I thought about that, and I might be looking for another one someplace. I know a lot of people do make libraries out of those, but I'd like to find something better with a better door, a better seal on it.
Jesse, can we go steal a newspaper box?
I don't know about steal, but if we should happen to
You can
find
create-
one,
Can we air quote find a newspaper box?
Yeah, that's called creatively acquiring.
Come on, we'll go out at like 3 a.m.
Exactly. Well, you might run into the guys restocking them, so you have to wait a little bit.
You know, it's funny in
Wow.
Chicago, every time they have the Chicago Marathon. Well, first of all, in Chicago, we have something called Redbox. It's a newspaper here in Chicago. What's the name? What's the newspaper?
the red eye.
Red Eye.
Oh,
Thank you.
red eye? Red eye.
And they're in red boxes, like red newspaper boxes. And the problem is that like cashiers in the city love to put micros in the newspaper box, like at the top with a magnet. The problem, and usually they're puzzles. They're not usually just, they're not like it's a puzzle cache. So it's a puzzle final. The problem is every time they do the Chicago Marathon, they grab all the boxes and they pull them in, and then they put them back out.
Oh,
The problem is
They don't put them out in the same
they don't
place.
put them on the same spot.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So whenever I walk by a red box in the city, I open it and check. Right. And sometimes more than once I have found a cache in there like that wasn't supposed to be a cache
Oh, wow.
there. Yeah. That's because they put them back wherever they want. Yeah. So obviously, Bruce, you are pro front yard cache. So you think Jesse has nothing Jesse has nothing to worry about.
What I would recommend that people do if you're concerned about your safety or whatnot is make them premium.
Well, that's a given. Yeah, that's a given.
Not to be detrimental towards other cachers, but you're going to get a better quality of cacher, better, somebody you probably can trust a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I would
I found people that are paying that $30 a year, they're not out to wreak havoc on caches or whatnot, or make a nuisance of themselves. Whereas somebody that is getting the free side of it, they don't care.
Right.
I mean, they haven't been doing it long enough to earn enough respect for the game yet.
Right. I totally agree.
And
with you.
I've changed all of ours to premium, no matter if it's a hotel or a micro out in the woods. They're all premium.
Yeah, every cache I put
There's
out.
been so many of them in this area that have been lost.
Yeah, every cache for years I've put out has been premium. Just I don't.
Yeah.
I've realized they don't get muggled if you make it a premium. Rarely do they get muggled. I should say never. Rarely do they get muggled. Being a premium.
Yeah, I debated on this one to make it open to everybody, but that may come later. But there will be a camera that's tied into our security system that will be watching it all the time as well.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. You see, I wanted to put one on our front porch, and we're going to get a Ring doorbell, so I can literally see every time somebody comes to get it. It'll trigger the doorbell.
That might actually be fun because then we could talk to them while they're there.
Put that back.
Get out of my porch.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Hey, Bruce, thank you
Get
so
out of my
much.
yard.
Thanks for calling in, Bruce. We appreciate it very, very much. Good to hear
You
from
bet.
you.
Oh, I was going to give you an update.
Oh, please give me.
I had one of the soldiers for that Agency Watch owns, and I had two of them. One was sent back to, I believe, Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one I dropped it in a cache over in Wendover, Utah, right on the border.
Nice.
And I'm not sure. I don't think Kelly's mentioned it too much. We're still in beta phase, but we're branching out with canine assets.
Of course you are.
So I got a German Shepherd, and she has her own. She uses the Geocaching numbers, and I got to figure out how to do that through geocaching. But it'll be like the IED dogs the military uses, dogs like that.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And I know there's 4 or 5 of them deployed around the world right now. I know there's one in New Zealand and a couple here in the States, one in England.
Mm.
So we're trying that out and see how that works. But it's been a lot of fun so far.
Sweet. Yeah. So I still got my guy. I was gonna drop him this weekend, but I couldn't find a cache to drop him in, so I still got him. He's he'll be dropped. He'll be dropped soon.
I haven't managed to get out to drop mine. It's been wet around here, so I intend to get out soon.
Take pictures, Chad. You got to take pictures.
Take some pictures. Yeah, take some pictures.
Yeah,
and also drop them off.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Kelly said too, if you can put them in a premium cache or hand them off to somebody that you kind of know is going to move them along, or take them on adventures, for a while as well.
Right. Well, I might. Okay. I might hold them till West Bend. I might, if I can't find a good cache.
Yeah.
And literally hand them off to somebody.
If I can't find a good,
somebody is going to do something with them.
Right. I might do that.
If I can't get them on an adventure, I'll take them to Geo Woodstock.
Oh yeah, take them to Geo Woodstock. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming up. All right, Bruce. Thanks so much for calling in, buddy. We appreciate it.
You betcha. Take care, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right. And one other thing from the cache page. So Jesse, you weren't you were taking calls for this, but making it a point to explain that you will not be greeted by angry people, that you are welcome to find the cache only during the day, and night caching not available at all. You can't night cache this cache. Use the front yard private residence attribute. That's also an important one as well. And
I think most most reviewers won't publish it unless that attribute is on it. Around here, they won't for sure.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, and Jesse, you didn't hear it. Tell them to knock on the door and say hello. As I said, I met a lot of people that way when I put it. I didn't put it on the redo, but on my first one, I said, hey, knock on the door, say hello. And I met Walt that way. Believe it or not, so I met Walt. Was him knocking on my door.
Cool.
So preparation for doing it. Tell the immediate neighbors. Just usually the ones on both sides and across the street from you, what's going on, so they're not calling the police and and saying, hey, I got prowlers around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And make it ridiculously easy to find. You don't want people searching for it. You want to be able to just pretty much walk up, get it, and move along. You don't want them searching for 20 minutes for it.
Or one that we found, Scott, you'll remember this. It was a birdhouse on the side of somebody's property, and it was sort of a semi-rural-ish area, with big lots, but there were still quite a few houses around, and we were in the middle of this guy's yard.
Middle of it, yeah.
Middle of the yard, and it was a puzzle, but it was a field puzzle. And you had to identify, what was it, flowers? I think you had to identify flowers that were painted on the birdhouse in order to, and match them up with numbers in order to get the code to the lock in order to get into the cache. So we stood there in this guy's yard for a good half an hour, probably at least.
Chad, when I say easy 25 minutes, easy 25 minutes. I was getting pissed.
Oh,
yeah.
There was one yard one that was actually in the kind of easement area between backyards. You literally have to walk through not the cache owner's yard, but another geocacher's yard who allowed the cache, which the cache is dedicated to it. It's called a red car sized cache. And if you know Red Car, she's 4 foot nothing.
Right.
So you know you're looking for a small cache, and I was warned about a nosy neighbor back there. So I wasn't back there for more than a minute, and this is in Beaumont, Texas. So I'm a couple hours from home at this point, or my previous home. And I'm out there with a friend. We start looking around. It's like there's some trees over here. There's some stuff over there. And then not a minute later, the busybody comes out and it's like, are you looking for the geocache? It's like, yeah, we're looking for the geocache. It's like, I know where it's at, but I can't tell you where it's at. It's like,
So it was like, it was like hidden wet. It was like a FU hide.
It was not really an FU hide, but it was one that could easily trip you up because it was so the cache owner put a PVC pipe down, and then he had found the small utility posts or cable boxes that are green that are about maybe 6 inches wide by 6 inches wide by 2.5 feet tall.
Yep. Yeah.
Slipped that over the top of it. And so it looked like it's something that you'd expect to find in an easement. And that's where we were. And as I'm looking around, I decided for shits and giggles to pull it, try to see if I pull it up, and it's like came right off of there. And the lady goes, "Wow, I've never seen anybody find it so quickly." So it was like any other day, I would have spent an hour out there and never found it. But
yeah, oh, absolutely, sure.
But that's one of my favorite yard caches.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the FU in the front yard. Jesse, I see you got some notes in here. You see, these are.
But first, I want to say, yeah, I have some comments, but first, I want to just say, Wheels in the chat room says, make sure the cords are really good, and that's a huge pet peeve. If you're gonna put a cache in your yard, don't put the cords like out at the end of your driveway. So we found one like that. The cords were out at the end of the driveway, and the cache was actually around the side of the house between their house and the neighbor's house in a hollowed out log in the garden on the side of the house.
Yes.
And I mean, I felt so uncomfortable. I'm like 3 feet away from the neighbor's house.
Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't even sure if I was at the right house because the cords were bad. And I finally found it. There was a little flag sticking up that had the geocaching logo on it. So I finally spotted the flag and realized, oh, that's where it is. But I'm like just wandering through this person's yard, and it was very uncomfortable.
That's why, I mean, even
plug those cords in. Yeah, plug those cords into Google Earth or Google Map and satellite view, and make sure that it's on a recognizable object where the cache is.
Well, that's why I'd say there's nothing wrong with in the hints putting exactly, or like telling them where it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let them sit there and linger. Tell them, like, dude, it's an ammo can on the porch. Like, come, it's an ammo can on the porch. Come get it. Like, tell them if that's what it is, or it's under a fake rock, or it's it's in the tree.
I found one time that was like the like the baseball storage boxes at the baseball park, the big green huge locker boxes. It was that on somebody's front porch. And it had tons of swag in it. It had a huge box of travel bugs, and it was actually a challenge cache.
So why don't we have that on our front porch, man?
Because we don't have a big baseball locker.
We can go steal. We got a ballpark right down the street. We can go get a big box locker thing. No problem with that. Dude, you can do anything at 2 a.m. Come on, you can do anything at 2
I have a problem with that, Scott. See, this is why I keep you in check. This is why we're good together.
So the one that I was in the wrong yard for. The individual put it at the corner, so it's, privacy fences. It's inside the privacy fence, but you apparently need to reach over to the top of it and to grab the ammo can and pull it over the top. But the coordinates were not bad, but it was right there at the corner, and so right there on the other side. And I'm relatively new at geocaching at this point. And I see this tree that's 2 feet away from the fence.
Right.
That's what I'm going for. and I'm looking around, and then a person comes out and kind of like gives me one of these "what the hell you doing" kind of look. It's like, do you have a geocache hidden in your yard? And he goes, "What's a geocache?" It's like, I'm out of here.
That would be
so,
no.
so that was a leave and come back at another time. And it wasn't in the page. I contacted the cache owner and he told me, "Oh, you just reach over the fence."
Oh, but that hint there, champ.
It's like, exactly.
Yeah. Jesse, you saw some. Talk to me about what you've got there in your notes there.
Well, I have some listener feedback.
From
so
last week or for this show.
For this show.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Just
this is from Facebook, I'm assuming.
Right. From Facebook and social media. So I got a message from Kristen Laurie, who said that D Slater 529 and I are watching this week's podcast. This was last week, a little bit late, but we wanted to send in our thoughts for next week. We are not a fan of the front yard geocache if you have children because it could be a safety concern.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really anything that I had ever thought of. I mean, we obviously have kids, and our kids go outside and play in the yard all the time.
They do,
But
so we don't necessarily young kids. I mean, we have our youngest is 8. Our others are 12 and 14, which are pretty. They're pretty resilient. I don't see my 14-year-old getting kidnapped anytime soon, or
I would hope not.
Even the 12-year-old, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, continue.
All right.
That's a definite good point.
Let's see, who else? Oh, we got more comments on bad cords. You end up searching in your neighbor's yard. Somebody gave the GC to one at his parents' house. That it's easy and right by the sidewalk. So that always makes it that I like if they're close to the sidewalk, because then you're not really going into their yard. And maybe that's why I was okay with the cache that we had at our old house, because you could reach it from the sidewalk. It was a tree that hung over the sidewalk. And so
step off the sidewalk.
Exactly. And so you're not really in the middle of somebody's yard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe, that makes it a little better. And, ironically, my very first find was actually in someone's front yard. It was in the lamp post, the street light, I should say, right in front of somebody's house. So
really?
Yep.
All right, continue.
All right, here's some more comments. Great topic. I've thought about doing a front yard cache, but I've been debating the pros and cons, and I'd love to hear from people that actually have one in their front yard and what they think and experience from cachers finding them. So I'll be curious to know, so we've talked about some pros and cons and heard a few stories. So it'll be interesting to hear. Is it a yes or a no?
For who? For this person?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Chad Champion.
Okay.
Sandy McDougall of McSuds, one of our sponsors, McSuds. She says she put one in her mom's front yard before she became a cacher, and now she owns it. I've thought about one in my yard, but have yet to do it. There is one cache in town that I have not grabbed yet, and it's in the owner's yard. Personally, I don't like doing them. I always feel like someone is watching me. And I definitely agree with that. It just feels weird going into people's yards. You're being watched. And I don't like when the owner is standing there watching you and you're like, oh my God, I have to find this. There's so much pressure,
Yeah.
Okay. Which you got one more.
I got one more here. Here's Jim Stark's opinion. If it's in the country with large separation of yards, no problem. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, that's a whole different. Yeah, that's of course.
Right. If it's in the city and the description states either an address or a unique feature of the house or a yard, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in the city and there's no address or unique feature specified and there's no one around, I would probably try it. If it's in the city, there's no address or unique feature, and there's someone visible, even if that person is way down the street, skip it.
Yeah, I'd agree with all that. I would totally agree with all that.
I agree with that.
Yes. And yeah.
Now here's one though that would definitely get all the neighbors. I mean, the neighbors would have to know. We found one in someone's front yard that was tied up with a rope in a tree. It was the kind that you have to, undo the rope and let the
Let
cache
it down.
down
Oh,
in the
yeah.
tree, and then pull it back up when you're done. I mean, I would hope the neighbors know what that is.
I would assume the neighbors have been alerted to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you're the first few finders.
Yeah, right.
So let's talk about the types of hides you can do in a front yard here. The different types of hides that I have here. Feel free to add, guys. Anybody in the chat room as well. We'll start simple. An ammo can. An ammo can, whether it's under your porch or on your porch or somewhere along those lines, under a big rock, which is one of the things I have also is a fake rock, which could be a small one or it could be a big one. I was looking online. I was looking at Menards today, Jesse Brown. I was looking at Menards for like one of those big rocks, those big, fake rocks that you just lift and you could have an ammo can or something underneath that. Because we do, ironically enough, we do have our big rock in our yard. There is a big rock already there. It's a real
Yes.
rock. We didn't ask for the rock. It just came with the house. But we can put a nice rock next to that rock. And so it won't look so out of place if you have a fake rock there, like a rock that's maybe, a foot by a foot, that kind of a
Right.
as big of a rock. So you could do something like that, Jesse Brown. Then it's not on our porch. It's a little, it's on the driveway, further down,
Cody's suggestion is a fake rock at the base of the tree in the parkway.
A fake rock at the base. No, 'cause then it's not winter friendly.
That's true.
And it's going to get literally covered with snow in the wintertime.
That's
Literally,
true.
like,
That's
the
where the
snowplow.
plows dump all the.
Yeah. It will literally be covered with snow. So you've got
Then
an
they
ammo
could
can.
get some digging. They get to dig it out.
People can do a micro in a tree or even a small in a tree.
That was what our last one was. It was a bison in a pine tree.
Yes, that's what our last one was. Yes. Inside a little free library, which I always love. Jess, you want to make a little free library? We can make a little free library.
I have to say, I think out of all of the different types of front yard caches, the little free library is my favorite for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I like little free libraries just in general. I love the idea of it. My mom was a librarian, so I have, you can't see behind me, but I have a lot of books. And you're inconspicuous by looking at it. You don't stand out. You're standing there looking at a little free
Looking at a book.
library.
Right.
So you're not suspicious at all.
Right. We could do it for a little free library. I don't
We
know.
have to register it though.
Yeah.
We have to get permission first.
You have to get permission to put out a little free
Sure.
library.
Yeah, you have to register it.
What are
Well,
they going to tell us? No, they're going to deny us a little free library.
Maybe.
No, you can't build one.
It has to meet
to
certain
be-
criteria.
We're a
to
snooty
be
group.
within their list, you have to register.
A list
yeah.
of what? What?
So there's a online list of little free libraries.
Oh. And so what's their criteria?
I don't know. I've never researched.
We need to research what the criteria. Now I'm just curiosity what the criteria is.
And if we did build one and we didn't list it with them, I don't think we could technically call it a little free library because I think
Why?
that's like trademarked or
It's
whatever.
yeah.
So what do you call it? Just a little library? A little library, no charge?
A small library with books
With
of
with
for
no,
trade.
and no fees. Wait, first of all, we're not building anything. We'd go buy something and then put it in our yard. I'm a Jew. I'm not building anything. That's not happening. Moving along, but the Little Free Library, yes, we have come across some fantastic Little Free Libraries in our days. The infamous birdhouse, the birdhouse cache. I've seen many of these in front yards as well, in the trees in the front yard. Jesse Brown saw a real cool one. Was it last year? Remember that one? You took a picture of it. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we saw a cool one. A good old sprinkler head.
No,
Well,
don't do a sprinkler head in your yard. That's encouraging people to rip up your sprinkler heads.
Well, that's if you have sprinkler heads in the
Yeah,
yard. aside from
okay.
that.
If you have sprinkler heads in the
Yeah,
yard,
you are encouraging people to tear apart your yard. Yes, you are. A fake rock. We've talked. I touched upon this. A big one, or like a micro one, or an actual huge 2 foot by 2 foot. Put an ammo can underneath it, kind of rock. A fence post cap, which is like I mentioned before, I've had previously a nice fence post cap on a chain link fence. A travel bug hotel. Jesse, we have a travel bug hotel in our
We could have a travel bug hotel.
right in our front yard.
those are they can be done really well. I got a friend here in California that's got one. Actually, it was the second cache that I found in California when I was out here interviewing, and because I had so many favorite points. And you go to the person's front yard, and you gotta start looking at the fence that they had created, and they have tiles of embedded in the fence of the artwork and stuff that's been done over the years, and you got to use that information to figure out where in the front yard the cache is, and then also where the code to unlock it is. Once you see the cache, it's like, oh yeah, that was obvious, but being able to unlock the cache so that nobody's vandalizing it.
Sure.
That it's pretty cool.
Huh.
And tons of space in there.
Well, Jesse, you travel bug. We can name it Brownie Motel. The Brownie Motel. I'll name it after you.
Ooh, you can do an outhouse cache.
Brownie Motel. Next up is a gadget cache. You could put a gadget cache. Did you just talk about that, Chad, or no? Is that not a gadget cache?
No, this one wasn't a gadget cache, but yeah, gadget cache would be great.
I think that'd be kind of cruel to put it in the front yard, a gadget cache. That's like asking. That's taking way too long to solve something.
Yeah, I think if it's something that you have to spend time, sitting at and solving, like a gadget cache or a puzzle or something, it should be like on your front porch with some seating, or on your deck in the backyard, or somewhere where, like, you can sit.
Right.
Well, there's a few gadget caches outside of businesses here. So outside of coffee shops and stuff, and you're like, trying to solve the thing, and people are looking at you like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Jesse and I did a gadget cache. I guess for lack of a better term, it's a gadget cache. We were in Wisconsin, and we walk into a coffee shop. Jesse, you remember?
Oh, yes.
We walk into a coffee shop. We're looking for the geocache. This woman hands us a box. We open the box, and it's like a 200-piece puzzle, Chad.
Oh, awesome.
No, it wasn't awesome at all. It was a 200-piece puzzle.
And they were very busy, and the only table available was like this tiny little foot and a half by foot and a half table. And so we sit down, we're trying to put the puzzle together, and all of a sudden we realize, oh my God, the puzzle is too big for the table. So we have to try to pick it up, the pieces we've already built, and move it to a bigger table. But we had to wait like 10 minutes for somebody to leave so we could get a bigger table.
Girls were trying to grab my table. I'm like, you are not taking that table. You are not taking that table.
I had to do a puzzle gadget cache at a place of business, but I was on the back porch of the place of business, and it was only 50 pieces.
200 pieces, man! It was ridiculous. It took us so long.
It took us a long time.
It took us so long. And then the pieces are, it's an old puzzle, so like the pieces were starting to bend and crack. What happens to puzzle. It was brutal. Last up, Jesse's got TARDIS. You have a TARDIS.
Awesome.
Well, yeah. Remember what we went?
Didn't someone send you a TARDIS?
Yes, I did get a TARDIS. It's in my room. It's in my bedroom.
Yeah, you turned that into a geocache.
Why would I do that? I don't want to.
Well, we did actually buy some solar lights and blue spray paint, because if they were painted blue, they would look just like the TARDIS. And we never did. And I think we eventually got rid of them. We hung on to the paint of the blue. Yeah.
But
anyway, no.
Somebody had a TARDIS Little Free Library.
It was a TARDIS Little Free Library.
It was pretty amazing. 2
of my favorite things combined into a geocache. So 3 of my favorite things combined into a geocache.
And Storm, Chad.
It was awesome. And they had lights inside it. And then we went at Christmas time, and they had a wreath hanging on the door.
Yeah, they had Christmas lights on it and stuff. Yeah, it was really cool.
It was really cool.
So, and for anyone who doesn't know what a TARDIS is, go look up Doctor Who and start watching Doctor Who shows.
Go back to the beginning and watch them all.
So yes, so
okay, the new beginning or the 1968?
Depends. How much time do you have?
Right.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Jesse Brown. So
yes.
It's 9:26 here, Chicago time.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Oh, really? This is what we solved in an hour? Like, I
I
don't.
haven't solved anything. I really don't know.
What if we just put one like in? What if we get a fake rock, and we could put an ammo can under the fake rock.
I like the idea of making it a puzzle or a multi or something where the posted coordinates are not on our house on the map.
Okay, if we do that, can we put an ammo can on the porch? Or are you dead set against an ammo can on the porch?
I'm okay with an ammo can on the front porch.
If
but I
if it's a if it's a puzzle or
if it's a puzzle or a
or multi.
multi or something. I think I'm okay with that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And what we'll do, guys, this is what we're going to do for everybody listening to my voice. We're going to set something up so the first 3 people from out of town that find this cache. You can't be from Chicago.
You have to define out of town. How far is out of town? Is like over
Out
the
of
border in
Out of
Wisconsin?
state. Out of
So-
state.
So like
Or should I go listener of the show? I could go listener of the show. Out of town listener of the show. I could do that. I always say out of town listener of the show because I know Cody's gonna walk in and be like, I listened to your show, and so will Wheels, and that's 2 gone right there. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing that's see Cody's already crying. That's why I'm doing out of state and a listener of the show. And if you come knocking on the door or write a note saying, hey, I listened to your show, so I'm not gonna put anything on the cache page, we'll send you something.
Indiana and Wisconsin excluded as
No,
well.
no, they're included. No,
Indiana's far enough away. I don't know
if you're
about
coming from
Wisconsin.
yeah, we're
about
only
20 minutes.
We're like 20 minutes. But I can't start excluding states. I mean, come on. I'm already excluding Illinois. So yes, so you figure if you're from out of state and you listen to the show, you tell us that you listen to the show and you found our cache. And better yet, knock on the door. If we're home, we'll come say hello. I got no problem with that.
Oh, that make them have to call into the show and tell them about their experience.
Well, absolutely. That's a given right there. Absolutely. So you figure that. So I will absolutely let everybody know when this cache goes live, because it will go live sometime soon. Once it goes live, you guys will know about it. You'll get the GC, and then rush over to our homestead and find our cache. Maybe we'll make it a brownie motel. You know? I'll paint it brown. We'll get a brownie motel.
We'll get an
Okay.
easy bake oven.
That's better than a Dutch oven, isn't it, babe?
Hey.
All right, thank you, Jesse Brown. Thank you, Chad. I thought it was a good debate, Jesse. Did the callers help sway you and putting it all out sway you?
Well, I think most cachers I think are pro front yard cache. That being said, why aren't there more?
I found a ton of front yard caches.
I went and looked at my stats and I have only found 50 caches with the front yard attribute.
That's a lot.
Oh. my wife has vetoed it, so the closest I did at my old house was about 150 feet away on a public easement.
And you told me about that last time.
Yeah, but I could see it from my front yard. And when I was mowing, there a couple times I saw people getting it, and I would stop mowing and quite literally walk over there and ask them what they're doing.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
So freaked them out. The new cachers. The other one was an old pro and was like, yeah, I'm just geocaching. Like, I was like, do you know what geocaching is? I was like, yeah, that's my cache, dude.
Like, oh.
Oh.
Funny.
All right. Well, thank you, Chad. Thank you, Jesse Brown. Guys, we'll let you know if and when Jesse might change her mind when she's off air. So we'll see. We'll see if we'll hold her to it. And next week, guys. So get this, guys. This is interesting. So first of all, baseball season is starting up again. Which you see, I'm wearing a hat here. I got tryouts on Friday and Saturday for coaching. I don't know about Wednesdays yet. We have no idea. We haven't gotten any schedules yet, so we don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to figure it out. But guys, I actually want to hear from you guys. Me and Chad were talking about this offline. Now, if I do have games on Wednesdays, would you guys rather A, have no show, as in obviously, nothing's coming out, or B, have an old show, like a rerun, so to speak, come into your feed? A rerun meaning like a show from like 2014, 2013, not like anything new, a rerun for an old show, as a rerun into your audio feed. Guys, let us know what you'd rather do with that. I'm curious your thoughts on that. Let us know via an email or let us know on social media. Jess, can you post that to Facebook? Is that possible?
Sure.
Real quick, what they'd rather do, if you can.
Sure.
And we'll figure it out. But that's we might not even have games on Wednesdays. I have no idea what's going to happen. So just trying to get ready and prepare. Also, here's an interesting thing. So we are going on spring break next week, but don't worry, we'll be back. But we are going away Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are coming back on Wednesday. So it means we're going to be driving and then boom, we're coming home and hopping online. So that being said, next Wednesday is a March Casher coffee because frankly we don't have time to come up with a show. We're not gonna have time. So I'm hoping to find time to find things to talk about for March Casher coffee. That means I'm gonna need phone calls next week, guys, for you to help me out and call me up and tell me things to talk about or interesting things to talk about because I'm probably not gonna have much. So I'm gonna rely on you guys to help me along with this. So that's next week, March Casher coffee next week to end the month. Chad, always a pleasure, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, I hope we've eased your worries with a front yard cache.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with an ammo can on the porch as a puzzle, provided we have a Ring doorbell.
Fair enough.
Ring doorbells are the best.
Right? Fair enough. We're gonna go to Home Depot. I already have we've got what's
Gift card.
Gift
Got a
cards
gift card.
and
Coupons.
coupons for Home Depot. We're gonna get it real cheap. All right, guys. We will talk to you guys next week. Give me 1 second. I gotta come up with your. Where are you? There you are. All right, guys. Here we go. Please join us again next week as we take your calls live every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here at the geocachingpodcast.com/live. The archived radio versions of our podcast are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on most of your favorite podcatchers. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, please subscribe to the show on YouTube, and don't forget to click the little bell to get notified when we go live. Yeah, click that little bell in the corner there. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for updates on upcoming shows and general geocaching information. If you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you will get a ton of additional information, extra videos, and extra audio only available to our patron members. Please head on over to our patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Cashly, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, and the Mac Suds Body Company. Please visit our sponsors and tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week, so we'll talk to you guys next week, talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones. We will talk to you guys next week. We are clear.
Awesome.
Oh man, that ending is getting so long that she takes the whole song to do. Wow.
All right, I created a poll on Facebook. So.
Oh, did you really?
Yep.
All right, everybody, go over to Facebook to my ear itches. Go over to geocachingpodcast.com. No, I'm lying.
No.
Go to
Facebook.com.
Geocaching Podcast on Facebook and take the poll. What was the poll? No
If
show or rerun?
If we should have nothing or if we should post old audio.
Okay. Did you just say old audio? Is that what you said? Old audio?
Yeah, I said old audio.
You
Isn't
didn't say
that what you said?
rerun or anything?
I said post. I don't know what I said.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will talk to you guys next week. And hey, Scott, thanks for coming in, man. Nice. Tomorrow. He says, good afternoon. Thanks, man. Good afternoon to you, too.
He's going caching.
He's going caching. Yes, he is. Yeah, I'll come on and do the show for you, right? All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much.